Can you silence a quiet man? What can you get from a man who has nothing to lose? Hi everyone, I am Uğur Ergüney. This is the story of the one and only Charlie Chaplin. A man who, without speaking a word, could make the entire world laugh and cry. He turned a bowler hat, a cane, and a funny walk into a global symbol of hope and resilience. Our story begins in the bleak, poverty-stricken streets of Victorian London in 1889. Charles Spencer Chaplin was born into a world of hardship. His parents were music hall entertainers, but their careers were failing. His father, a gifted singer, succumbed to alcoholism and was largely absent. His mother, Hannah, struggled to support Charlie and his older half-brother, Sidney. Her own stage career faltered, and she was plagued by mental illness, eventually being committed to an asylum. From a very young age, Charlie learned that life was a performance. At just 5 years old, he was pushed onto the stage to replace his mother when her voice cracked mid-song. The audience, initially hostile, was charmed by the little boy's raw talent. He sang, he danced, he mimicked his mother's frail voice, and the crowd showered him with coins. It was a baptism by fire, a moment that foreshadowed his entire future. The following years were a blur of workhouses, orphanages, and scraping by on the streets. These experiences of poverty and desperation would become the bedrock of his comedy. He observed the struggles of the common man, the resilience of the human spirit in the face of adversity. He learned to find humor in sorrow, a theme that would define his greatest character. He and Sidney were incredibly close, relying on each other for survival. Charlie's professional career began in earnest when he joined a clog dancing troupe. He was a natural and his talent didn't go unnoticed. Soon he was touring with the famous Fred Karno Comedy Company, a veritable university for slapstick performers. It was here that he honed his craft, learning the precise timing, acrobatics, and pantomime skills that would make him a star. Among his fellow performers was another future comedy legend, Stan Laurel. His fate changed during his trip to the United States in 1913. A talent scout for Max Sennett's Keystone Studios spotted Chaplin and offered him a film contract. Reluctantly, Chaplin left the stage for the new, uncertain world of motion pictures. Hollywood was a chaotic, fast-paced factory, churning out short comedies at an astonishing rate. Initially, Chaplin felt lost. His nuanced stage style clashed with Keystone's frantic slapstick. But then, everything changed. While improvising for a film, Chaplin was told to get some comedy clothes. He went to the wardrobe department and piece by piece assembled an icon. He chose baggy pants, a tight coat, oversized shoes on the wrong feet, a small bowler hat, and a little cane. To complete the look, he added a small mustache. The Tramp was born. The moment he put on the costume, Chaplin said he felt the character come alive. The Tramp was a paradox, a gentleman with refined manners trapped in the body of a vagrant. He was clumsy, yet graceful, naive, yet cunning, a loser who never gave up. Audiences fell in love instantly. The Tramp wasn't just funny, he was relatable. He was the underdog, the little guy fighting against the big, unfair world, and people everywhere saw a piece of themselves in him. Chaplin's rise was meteoric. Within a year, he went from an unknown to the most famous movie star in the world. He began directing his own films, then producing them. His salary skyrocketed. By 1917, he signed a contract for over $1 million, making him one of the highest paid people on the planet. He, along with other titans of the industry like Mary Pickford and D.W. Griffith, founded their own studio, United Artists, to maintain their artistic independence. As his fame grew, so did the complexity of his films. He moved beyond simple slapstick, weaving in pathos, social commentary, and romance. Films like The Kid blended comedy with heart-wrenching drama, drawing from his own painful childhood. In The Gold Rush, he created unforgettable scenes like the starving tramp eating his own shoe and the magical dance of the rolls. He was a master storyteller, a true auteur who controlled every aspect of production, from writing and directing to acting and even composing the musical score. When the talkies arrived in the late 1920s, Hollywood panicked. Sound was the future, and silent stars were becoming obsolete. But Chaplin resisted. He believed pantomime was a universal language and that the Tramp's magic would be lost with dialogue. He released City Lights in 1931, a silent film in a world of sound, and it was a masterpiece. Its final scene, where the once blind flower girl finally sees her benefactor, the Tramp, is one of the most powerful and moving moments in cinema history. He followed it with Modern Times in 1936, another largely silent film that satirized the dehumanizing nature of the industrial age. But the world was changing, and Chaplin's art changed with it. Horrified by the rise of fascism in Europe, he decided to break his silence. In 1940, he released The Great Dictator, a bold and courageous satire of Adolf Hitler. Chaplin played a dual role, the ruthless dictator, Adenoid Hinkle, and a humble Jewish barber who is his spitting image. The film was hilarious, but its purpose was deadly serious. It ended not with a joke, but with an impassioned 6-minute speech, delivered by Chaplin as himself, pleading for humanity, peace, and democracy. It was a risky move, but one that cemented his legacy as an artist with a conscience. However, Chaplin's outspoken political views and a series of messy divorces and paternity suits made him a target in post-war America. During the McCarthy era, his sympathies for the common man were twisted into accusations of communist leanings. The FBI under J. Edgar Hoover built a massive file on him. The press turned against him, painting him as immoral and un-American. The breaking point came in 1952. While sailing to London for the premiere of his film Limelight, Chaplin was informed that his re-entry permit to the United States had been revoked. Heartbroken and betrayed by the country that had made him a star, he chose not to fight. He settled with his family in Switzerland, vowing never to return. He spent his remaining years in a peaceful exile, raising his large family with his fourth wife, Una O'Neill. He continued to make films, though they never achieved the same success as his earlier work. In 1972, America made amends. The Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences awarded him an honorary Oscar. When he walked onto the stage, the Hollywood audience gave him a 12-minute standing ovation, the longest in Oscar history. The tramp had finally come home. Charlie Chaplin passed away on Christmas Day in 1977, leaving behind a legacy that is impossible to overstate. He was a cinematic pioneer, a brilliant comedian, a gifted composer, and a fearless humanitarian. From the London slums, he rose to conquer the world, not with power or wealth, but with laughter and a little bit of hope. His films are timeless, and his iconic character, the Little Tramp, remains a universal symbol of the enduring, resilient, and beautiful human spirit. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this journey into the life of a true legend, please hit that like button and subscribe for more stories from history. See you next time.